Welcome to the book of Melachim Bet, chapter 3, where we have probably the most famous story about Shlomo. A fantastic story, by the way, if you're into the storytelling business. But it starts off on a bit of a negative note. It says that King Shlomo marries the daughter of Paro. There's a whole discussion in the Gemara and the Rambam. Doesn't mean that he literally married the daughter of Paro. You're not allowed to do that. Not getting into that. The bottom line is it says he married the daughter of Paro, and that he is now waiting to build the entire city of the Jerusalem, the walls, and the house of Hashem. King Shlomo loves to follow in the ways of Hashem, but it says that it's a negative. Meanwhile, everyone is bringing korbanot, everyone's offering sacrifices in the bamot, in the individual altars, and that's not a good thing. Eventually, King Shlomo goes to the ultimate altar at the time, which is in Givon, and he offers no less than 1,000, imagine that, 1,000 sacrifices olot, and then he goes to sleep, and he has a vision from Hashem. Hashem says, tell me, what do you want? What is your request? What would you say, by the way? Right? You have one request from Hashem. What would it be? So he says, look, Hashem, you've been great to me. You've done so much for me. You made me king instead of in succession of my father, King David, even though I'm the younger one. I'm not the oldest one. Here's my big request, Hashem. I am living among the Jewish people. It's a tough time because as a king, I have to judge Bnei Yisrael. I have to make sure that I'm judging them properly. And so, since I need to judge Bnei Yisrael properly, I need to be able to have the wisdom to be able to judge them. So that's the request. What's Shlomo's one request from Hashem? That he have the wisdom to speak to Bnei Yisrael and judge them and know how to judge them, who's right, who's wrong. That's the most difficult thing, to render judgment. Hashem says to him, since you asked for something that's really selfless, you're asking basically to be able to be a better leader, to be able to better help your people, not only will I give you that wisdom that you're asking for, but since you did not ask for many years, since you did not ask for wealth, since you did not ask me to eliminate your enemies, I will give you all of the above. All of the above. So since you only asked for wisdom, you didn't ask for money, you didn't ask for a long life, you didn't ask for your enemies to be destroyed, I'll give you wisdom plus 3. I will give you wisdom plus wisdom, meaning you're going to be the smartest. There's going to be nobody as smart as you. Doesn't mean, by the way, smart like Albert Einstein is smart, which is bookish smart. This is smart to understand and be able to mediate between people and lead people. So you'll be the smartest. It's a people wisdom. You'll be the smartest person to have ever lived until now and afterwards. And if you keep my mitzvahs, you follow my Torah and you do my commands, you're also going to have a long life, and you're going to do very well. You'll be a great king. And Shlomo has this vision. He wakes up in the morning. He stands in front of Hashem's ark, the Aron, and he comes to Jerusalem. So that ends the story of Givon. What happens? He goes to Givon, he brings 1,000 sacrifices. Hashem asks him, what's his wish? One wish, it sounds like. And instead of asking for money, longevity, or his enemies to be destroyed, Shlomo asks to have all of the wisdom to be able to judge Bnei Yisrael, and he gets all of the above. So, now he comes to Jerusalem, he offers sacrifices, and now is the famous story of the two women. So two women who are clearly unscrupulous, they come to him and they say, look, we've got a problem. Why? We live in the same house, and we both gave birth at the same time. Now, 3 days after we gave birth, and there's nobody else in the house, her son, her child, died in the middle of the night. He died in the middle of the night. Then she woke up, she took my living child, and she tucked in the non-alive child in my in my arms, And the night went on. Now, just by the way, as a side note, you should never do that. You're not supposed to sleep with a newborn because you can sort of tumble it over, and it's very dangerous. They have to be in a crib. But the bottom line is, this woman took her child who has passed away at night, put him in my arms, and then took my living child. And I wake up in the morning, and two things. Number one, I'm ready to nurse him. Number two, I see it's not the child that I gave birth to. And the other woman says, "Wait a minute, what are you talking about? That's not true. Your son is the dead one. My son is the living one." Bottom line, each of them is screaming and saying, "Mine is the living child, yours is the not living child," and it's a screaming match. The king does not spare any tools of drama that are at his disposal, and he says, "Bring me a sword." Wow. So the king says, "Bring me a sword." And he says, "Okay, get me a sword." And the king then says, "All right, I mean business. What am I going to do? Why don't we split the living child, and why don't we give a half to each? Why don't we just split them?" Now, obviously, the king didn't mean for this to actually happen. You'll see in a moment it was a psychological trick. But the bottom line is the king is like, "Okay, let's split this child in two." And the mom, which by the way, the Navi says her son is actually the living one, says, "No, no, 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 no." She has mercy. She doesn't want her son killed. It's not crazy. So she says, "No, no, 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 no. You know what? Take the living child, give it to the other woman." But the other woman is saying, "No, let her rip. Take that sword and let's split the child." Now the king says, The woman who wanted to split the child, that's not his mother. The woman who said, "I'd rather not have the child and the child stay alive," that's the woman who's the genuine mother. So he played a trick on them. He was having them think that that's what's going to happen. He was able to see which mother is willing even not to raise her own child so long as he lives. And that way he was able to figure out that the one who's saying, "Chop him up," she's actually not the mother. So that was what the king does. Yeah, and everyone hears the story, and everyone's like, "Wow, this king's amazing, and this king's brilliant," etc. So that's what happens in this chapter. So what do we have in Parag Gimel? What we have is Shlomo marries the daughter of Paro. Then the people are still bringing sacrifices in the Bamot. Then you have the Givon vision where Shlomo brings 1,000 sacrifices. He's asked what his wish is, and he says, "My wish is only wisdom to be able to judge the people." Later, Hashem says, wait. If that's all you're asking for, I'm going to give you that and then some. You also will have tremendous wisdom. You'll also be very wealthy. You'll also have a strong monarchy and a long life. And you'll be able to judge the people because you're a selfless king, which is very important. What's going to be in chapter 4? Stay tuned.